If you are a Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this reading is for you. This is a general message, so take what resonates and leave the rest for another Gemini. Okay, Gemini, so for your center energy, I'm going to be doing a Celtic crossbreed, sorry. I have the Emperor. So I think that the Emperor in this position is really just kind of saying that right now, you are needing to kind of take control of your life by putting boundaries. Like the Emperor, he can mean like you need routine, or like, just you need control of your life in certain ways. But specifically for this reading, I'm getting that it is about boundaries, and that if you are not implementing boundaries with like certain people or just everybody in general, you're going to kind of feel like you're not really living life for yourself and you're kind of living it for everyone else. So I feel like right now that's something that is going to be helping you gain control back of your own life once you start doing that. So that's the energy of this reading. I think that either you are doing that or you need to be doing that. Your crossing energy, so what's helping or hurting you. I got 3 cards. I'm gonna do them all. So I got the 7 of Cups, I got the 5 of Pentacles, and I also got the 3 of Cups in reverse. So basically what I'm seeing is that with the 7 of Cups, I think that there has been some kind of like deception that you've recently like realized. Like it looks like maybe somebody was kind of showing you only what they wanted you to see about them, and you kind of were like discovering that like, oh hey, when you look a little deeper, like some of these things that they're presenting to me aren't as like good, as they're making them seem, basically. And then so I feel like that obviously left you kind of feeling wounded, leaving you out in the cold. And then with the 3 of Cups in reverse, I think that it's specifically saying that there was some kind of like union that you just like didn't, like it wasn't successful, probably because of these like lies and deception. And so I think that that's kind of what is making you realize that like you need to just kind of vouch for yourself a little more in this moment. And put those boundaries when you need to. For your recent past energy, I have the Knight of Swords and I have the 8 of Cups. So with these 2 cards together, I'm really seeing that in the recent past, you probably have like moved forward, moved away from something specifically and on to healing is what I'm seeing. The Knight of Swords, he's kind of doing something fast. Like as you see, the horse is kind of looking back at him while he's kind of making like a rash decision. And I think that that's kind of how it seems, maybe that like you moved away from a situation. It's just like you kind of were like, okay, I'm not going to look back, I'm just going to move on, and then I'm going to move on to healing. I'm going to like make sure that I'm working on myself emotionally. From that energy, like the outcome of that energy, I do have the Page of Pentacles and I have Justice. So I am definitely seeing that you are going to probably be getting, because of that action that you took to like move on to healing rather than to kind of stay in something negative. I'm seeing that you are probably going to be starting a new journey of some sort. I know that sounds kind of cliche, kind of open-ended, but I feel like there's just going to be some kind of like new opportunity for you that comes from that, and it's because like you made the right call and justice is on your side. Like it's basically like a little bit of a karmic reward, but it is the Page, so it's the beginning of something. For your conscious energy, so what your focus is in this moment, I have the 3 of Wands. With the 3 of Wands, I'm seeing that you're planning for the future in this moment. Some of you could be like debating on your next move, like literally you might be like wanting to move somewhere, like out of state, out of country, whatever, you're planning some sort of move. But in general, I just feel like you're doing a lot of planning for the future. And that also sounds a little vague, but I just kind of feel like whatever's going on right now, maybe it's just like something happened that kind of like switched things up and kind of made you feel this energy of like having to redirect your plans is what I'm getting. So I think that that's what you're doing in this moment, is you're really thinking things out and you're like, okay, where do I go from here, basically. Your subconscious energy, so what you're not quite, like it's in here, but you're not quite aware of it yet, is the Queen of Swords. So I'm seeing that maybe what you don't realize though as you're planning is that you are doing a little bit of maybe like running away from your problems. Not to like call you out or be harsh or anything, but this being your subconscious energy is kind of telling me that maybe you are going to need to really step into the Queen of Swords energy and just put your foot down. I feel like with someone specific, I'm kind of getting that like you're going to need to kind of like place a boundary. You're really going to need to kind of address this before you can move on with this plan that you have. Like this planning for the future, I feel like maybe as you're here, subconsciously, you know, like, but I can't run away from this certain situation forever. And I am going to have to kind of like confront something head on, and I'm going to have to use my words and my logic. I'm not going to be able to let my emotions get the best of me. Like I'm going to have to enforce a boundary basically with someone. Not quite sure who. You will know, obviously. For how you see yourself in this moment, I have Judgment. I feel like you are definitely trying to move with like the actions that you would want the universe to judge you by right now. And if that's not necessarily the case, I feel like maybe you kind of feel like you're leveling up a little bit, like maybe you're having a little bit of an awakening, like as cliche as that sounds. I think that you definitely are like starting to kind of notice like, okay, hey, maybe things do happen for a reason. Like maybe this is all part of a plan. It's kind of feeling like a little bit more of that like spiritual energy that maybe you're kind of embracing in this moment. For how others view you, others are viewing you as the Magician and the, hello, who is that? Seven of Pentacles. So others are seeing that you are really creating something for yourself. I feel like obviously with the Magician, that's like manifesting something, having the tools to create anything that you want. And then Seven of Pentacles is you kind of like looking over the things that the seeds that you've planted. So I think that like if one of your close friends or family were to tell you like, hey, what's Gemini doing right now? I feel like they'd be like, oh, Gemini's planning for the future and they're creating something new. I feel like that's how people are going to be viewing you, is just like kind of taking maybe what has recently happened, if it wasn't such a positive situation, and turning it into something else. Which could probably go hand in hand with this future energy of the Page of Pentacles. Okay, for your biggest fear / hope, I have the Six of Cups, sorry, in reverse. Okay, so I'm getting one of two, could be both, however it resonates. For some of you, maybe I'm feeling like, you know, this is nostalgia. I'm definitely getting like nostalgia and childlike vibes from this. In reverse, I'm thinking that maybe some of you really hope you can get back in touch with that innocent and like childlike wonder that you know you've had all along. And some of you are a little scared that maybe with like the things that are happening in your life that's getting lost a little bit. So maybe it's important for you to kind of reconnect with that part of yourself. But for others of you, I do specifically feel like this is someone from the past, and I think that you are fearful for them to come back, but at the same time, part of you is maybe a little bit like, oh, but what if they don't come back? Then what's my next move, you know? So yeah, so those are the two like messages that I'm getting with that. For the outcome of the reading though, I have the Two of Swords. So I am definitely seeing that the outcome of this whole reading is going to be you kind of tapping into your intuition a little more. Like this is you making decisions based off of what you feel and like what you know inside. Obviously this girl's blindfolded, so she can't really see the outcome of whatever it is that she's going to be choosing, but she's trusting her intuition and she's trusting the moon to guide her. So I definitely think that, you know, from all of this, like you kind of put, oh, also she can be putting boundaries as well. So I feel like you are just going to be really protecting yourself by putting boundaries, and as well as like listening to yourself maybe over others. Yeah, I'm kind of like getting a little bit of a message of like tuning out like the voices of other people and just doing what you want to do. Also, I really am getting travel for some of you. I feel like for some of you, you are thinking about like moving to somewhere else, because I have this card right here and then this card right here. Both of these are kind of showing me like overseas vibes, or just you moving away maybe from what you know. Okay, let's do an advice card. Advice for Gemini from the universe. Advice for Gemini. Advice for Gemini. Okay, I got the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, That's actually pretty, oh, that was the page. Okay. So the Knight of Pentacles as advice is really just kind of like slow and steady wins the race. Like basically to keep pursuing whatever goals that you have. And to just remember that things don't happen overnight. You know, if you're like planning for something or you're starting new with something, it's okay if it's taking a little longer, or like it feels like you're kind of, you know, not moving as quickly as you would like. But sometimes those are like the best outcome is when you're just like very slow and steady. Yeah, just continuing to move towards something regardless of what's happening, but also not focusing too much on the timeline and just making sure that you're just making small steps to get where you want to be. I hope that reaches a Gemini who needed to hear it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.